This is Draconian Combat, episode 77. Today we got the Ethos gym with us today. We got Adrian, we got Jacob Copeland, and Cody Williams. What's up, y'all?
What's up? What's going on, y'all?
So I think first, we're going to talk
What's up,
about a lot of bullshit today, to be honest. Just whatever's on our minds. But I do want to go over you guys' gym and just a couple things about it. So anybody can speak. Do you guys kind of want to let people know what Ethos Gym is, where it's located, and just what the environment's like training there?
Yeah, for sure, bro. We're in Tyler, Texas, East Texas area. Um, we're always growing. We've got a ton of members, a ton of great training partners at our gym, and even better, we got a really good gym community. Like all of us, like me, Jacob, Adrian, Caleb, our head coach, all of us are really tight knit. And it's funny that at a place like that, where people punch you in the face is where your real friends and family are. So that's the kind of place that we train at.
No, that's the good environment for a gym if it's family like. I'm pretty sure you guys are honest with each other. You guys are open with each other, and you guys train hard together. You build that relationship. I have a question for all three of you. I just thought about it on the fly, actually. All three of y'all have something in common, right? I'm gonna jump right into it because this is Draconian Combat. All three of y'all fought Trey Frazier, right? And Trey is a great fighter, but I want to know because Code. I think the first time I seen Trey fight, he was fighting Jacob, and that's the first fight I seen. I didn't know who Jacob was at that time. And then after, I think Cody fought him, but you fought him like on hella short notice. And then Adrian, you ended up fighting him. You guys can be honest. You can say what you want. I want to know though, because each of you guys had very different fights, and I want to know what it was like fighting him. And we can start off with Jacob.
Well, for me, leading into the fight, I knew I was going to go against somebody who was real athletic and who had real good power. So I was going to try to use my footwork and be more elusive toward him. But I threw my game plan out the window because based off of I wouldn't say I didn't train too hard for that fight, but leading into that fight, I had an injury that I've been dealing with for a long time, so it kind of put me in a hard spot when I wanted to do things that I couldn't do. I couldn't push past that threshold, so maybe that could have been the issue in that fight, but just based on Trey though, yeah, he's just real powerful. So that'd be one thing I can say about him. Definitely, he has power.
Yeah, I haven't fought Trey, but I've sparred with him, so I've got to move. You said what?
Oh, you have, huh?
Yeah, at their gym in Trab, and yeah, he's very he throws you off though, because like I was thinking I was getting comfortable coming in, and then as soon as I was getting comfortable coming in, I think I landed something that kind of made him throw something real quick, but it was kind of I wasn't expecting it, and there was a lot of power to it, but it wasn't like he wasn't throwing like at you guys. It was more just letting me know, you know, I can still hit you. But he's very athletic. I think watching Trey fight, because I've been watching him for since he fought Jacob. He kind of has a style where it looks like, me and Harrison talk about this all the time. It looks like his style should not work. He's very unorthodox. He does a lot of awkward stuff, awkward movements, but it just happens to work for him. Cody, yours is a little bit different because I think you had to fight him on 1 day's notice. And I'm not looking to put anyone down or nothing like that. I just want like honest answers. What would you say your experience was like fighting Trey?
I kind of had an idea of what it was going to be like because not only did Jacob fight him, and after I fought him, Adrian fought him, but another one of our teammates, Daniel, fought him twice. So
Okay.
We've got to study and watch him a ton, and the one thing that I noticed that he did really well was he picked his shots. Like
Yeah.
he wasn't loading up on everything. He wasn't hitting me with like thunderous shots. And as soon as you got comfortable enough to kind of let your hands down, or maybe try to counter and fire back, he hit you with something big.
Hmm.
And I think I fought a lot of southpaws, and I have a good idea, training with Jacob as well. Jacob can switch stances, fight left-handed. I have a good idea of what southpaws do, and he does a lot of things. Like you said, he's very unorthodox. He does a lot of things that most lefties don't do, and he's able to get away with it because you might not have seen it before in training, or seen it, any other time other than having him in front of you.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that was a crazy fight because you coming up on 1 day's notice, and like when I was sparring against Trey, he wasn't so much hit me with things that were trying to knock me out. There were more things just to let me know, if that makes sense. And I can kind of get where you're coming at, because as soon as I got comfortable where I thought I could come in and land on him, he pops something real quick that catches me off guard. And Adrian, your fight was interesting because I thought you were doing very well. Throughout the fight, I thought it was competitive. And then the results, you ended up getting caught. So I'll just let you talk about that real quick. How was it like fighting Trey Frazier?
I think one thing that did surprise me, and I give props to him, was his fight IQ. I kind of underestimated him. Anyways, I knew he had the experience over me. I feel like one thing I do well is anyways, I haven't landed that shot yet. I'm still flowing. I'm still new. I study a lot. I see shots. I have really good eyes. I have good vision. And I was able to see things, but his IQ was good. He was setting me up for traps and all of that. So his IQ was one thing that really surprised me. I honestly thought coming into that fight, I would have the higher fight IQ based off the way his fights do look. Not as a disrespectful thing. He's just athletic and he's powerful. So he gets to use that as an advantage. And I think I was pretty athletic too. So I thought I was going to be able to get the edge on him on IQ, but it didn't really work that way. But it is what it is. But I think a lot of people do forget that 2 months before that fight, I was in the hospital and I did almost die. And for that camp, I could really only have like under like 100 grams of protein. I didn't really have that much protein in that camp because I still had protein in my kidneys from the weight cut and the injury. So I had to go really light on my protein. And super small cage doesn't really go well with what my game plan was and moving. But I'm glad I got to take that fight, though, because it helped me with my IQ, and there's a lot of things I know I can do better from moving forward. So I'm excited for the next one to show what I learned from that last fight.
Right, and I think you said you're going to be fighting at what's the one in Louisiana that your teammates are fighting on?
Delta Fighting Championship.
Yes, Delta. The thing with Delta, and I talked to Trey about this too, and I think a lot of fighters prefer a bigger cage. You can move around a lot more, use your style a lot more, and evade situations where you might be in trouble. Give you just a few more steps back so you can get out of danger. I know Delta, they have a big ring, so that's going to be, I think, new for you, right, Adrian? Have you fought in a big ring before?
No, I've only fought for RDC.
Yeah, so I think that's going to be new to you, and it's going to be an advantage. I mean, you're going to take advantage of the size of the ring. Like when I fought at Hendo's fight night, we had a very large ring, and like I don't know if you see my old fights, but like I bounce around a lot and I move around a lot. And when I was fighting the RDC cage, it was man, it was so small. Like I felt like I just had to fight aggressive. I did not want to get caught with anything stupid. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want to get comfortable moving around. All of a sudden, I'm against the cage and I have nowhere to go. So with that cage, I just had to be like very aggressive. But let's talk about DFC. You have fighters fighting coming up. Let's talk about that. Who's fighting? And then is it kickboxing, MMA? What's going on?
We got
anybody.
Ooh, we got one kickboxing and 2 MMA. So the one kickboxing fight is Javon, and he's been training with us for I think a year now, almost. I think even over. But he's a blue belt in jiu-jitsu though. He's been grappling a minute. I think he's a blue belt. But he's done IKF. He's done a smoker. He's really athletic. He's honestly a dog. Super quiet dude. Good dude. Trains hard. Think he's gonna have a really good fight going against a pretty scrappy Mexican kid. And then we got Jack Can. He's fighting a pretty big 55er. But in the video I've seen of him, he really wasn't nothing special. It was a kickboxing fight. Kid got dropped in the first round 3 times. Check right hook. So I think Zach is going to outsmart him. I think he's going to be more of a dog than him. He's got better striking, better grappling, I bet, than the kid. And then we got Crazy Tony, Anthony Lewis, and he's on, I think, a 3-fight win streak right now. This came off a short notice victory, like a week short notice victory, and he's looking good. He's a dog, and his style, no one can train for his style like Crazy Tony. So I think Team 1 should go 3-0.
All right. Is DFC, I'm saying it right, DFC, right?
Yeah.
Is DFC going to be an organization we see more Ethos fighters start to compete on? Are we going to see Cody on that card maybe at some point? Or with that promotion?
Possibly. I think we're looking at a bunch of different options. We're gonna kind of shop around, just hit the regional scene hard, man. It's been a bit of a rebuilding period for us, and we're just at a spot now where we can get some talent out there on the regional circuit. So yeah, I'll be making my MMA debut as soon as well. May not be with DFC, but somewhere local, regional, just kind of some new scenery.
Gotcha. So you guys are both gonna be making your MMA debuts in. Or
He is. I'm trying to get one more. I want to get one more kickboxing fight. I am going to start grappling a bit more, but I'm really heavy on my boxing focus right now. And I just want to get one kickboxing finish. I have a really bad taste in my mouth in that last fight. So I want to be active. And then after that kickboxing fight, I want to switch to the 4-ounce.
That's gonna be dope. Yeah, that's gonna be a dope transition for both of you. Both have good styles standing up. Let's talk about a topic right now. So I think it was last week. I seen Bryce Mitchell. He was online. I guess he was in Abu Dhabi, and he was in a dressing room or changing room. And he said that he undressed his clothes, like he was gonna change new clothes, whatever. Got out the shower, and basically, I think he said like 6 people came up to him that are from Abu Dhabi, and basically were almost trying to beat him up because they said that he was being disrespectful. My question to you guys, because I have an opinion on this. I don't agree with some of the stuff Bryce says, but I think I didn't like the situation because I felt like they were trying to punk Bryce. So what's your opinion on that? Do you think they were trying to punk Bryce, or do you think they were that deeply offended about their religion?
I'd say it has something to do with the religion.
You think so?
Yeah.
So
And they take all that shit seriously.
So here's my question. Well, I mean, it's a changing room, right? And I feel like we have different customs and things like that. Do you think it would have been a proper way to tell Bryce, from where we're at right now in this area, these are our beliefs. What you're doing is disrespect to our beliefs. Do you think there was a better way to handle it, or do you think the correct way to handle it was to try to? Because it sounded like they was almost gonna try to jump Bryce.
I think he waited till he's not naked.
You said what?
Just jumped off the shower. That's kind of sus. So I think you got to wait till he's at least not naked, bro. You got to wait till he's got pants on or some shit.
Hey, I know it's a weird topic, but I wanted to bring it up. In my opinion,
you got to wait till he's dressed, bro.
You said what?
I do think they try to punk him. I don't really know what Bryce did say to disrespect. I'm guessing, would the religion be Muslim? I don't know what he said to disrespect the Muslim community, but I don't know. I guess so, but I mean, if you really get into the nitty gritty, that's a whole different episode. But Christianity and Muslim is actually pretty close, so it wouldn't really make sense for them to be that pissed.
Yes, it's kind of a touchy subject. So Cody, if you don't want to talk about it, we can move along.
Right?
I'm just saying. Shout out TJ Brown for stepping in and saving that man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Is that what happened?
Yes, that's what he stepped in, but
damn,
they said TJ Brown, I guess, appeared, and then Bryce said he was happy that he was there because it was looking like they're about to jump him.
They probably were.
Yeah, that's none of my business though.
What
do you think about it, Jacob?
Really cool dude.
What you think about it, Jacob? Do you think they was trying to punk him on the low or no?
Yeah, they might have tried to punk him for going against their religion, probably. Yeah.
I mean,
if there was only one or two
right?
there, and there was more than more than a couple of them, then yeah, more than likely. You gotta
All I
watch out
know,
for other countries,
yeah, that's
especially if
true.
you're an American.
Yeah, yeah, no. I mean, I can see they, and in my opinion, I feel like they. I could be wrong. I feel like they knew of Bryce beforehand. Like they probably seen him on the internet, things like that. So they already had an idea of him in their heads. So when they entered that room, and they could have seen him going earlier and entered that room. Like there's no telling with the story, or they could just went in that room. I don't know, but I feel like they had an idea beforehand of what Bryce was like in their head because what they seen online. But I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. Like I said, I don't agree with everything Bryce says, but the way he described it, I feel like they're trying to punk him, and I didn't like that. Especially like 1v6. Like, dude, come on, man.
He still won though.
I know he won tonight. Actually, I seen that.
It was
I didn't see
actually
the
a pretty
fight, but I
fun
saw
fight.
the. You said what?
It was a pretty fun fight. There was a lot of good scrambles. Bryce did get dropped in the first round though.
Okay, so I have a question about that because I missed the fights because of work today. I know most of you guys watched it. I think Jacob said you only caught the main event.
I saw just the main event. That was it.
So what I was seeing online with Bryce is they could be haters. I don't know, but a lot of people saying that it was basically a grappling match and Bryce kind of laid on top of him for all 3 rounds. Would you agree with that, or would you think that people are hating?
It wasn't boring. He did, lay on him. He really wasn't going for submissions, and he didn't really lay any shots. But there were fun scrambles. There was a time that I think Sade was in the bottom on I think side control. I think is what Bryce had, and he used the cage to flip it, and then Sade was on top. So there was fun scrambles throughout the fight. I don't think it was boring, but Bryce just didn't throw any ground and pound, so the submission attempts just weren't really. When you only got to defend the submission, of course they're gonna all get defended. You got to start punching them a little bit, make them start defending the punches. Then you can start getting under the chin and stuff like that. So I think if Bryce would have added that, he probably would have got the finish. But it was a fun fight.
Hey, Cody, did you catch that fight or no?
I didn't. I saw some little highlights of it though, and I think people are going to be hard on Bryce at 135, but that's how he's going to win fights, man. Is top pressure. You saw it with Kron Gracie, and he has really good anti-wrestling jiu-jitsu. So I think that'll be his key success against these guys at the lighter weight class who are going to be looking to, grab his leg.
Let's talk. Yeah, let's talk about that. You brought up 135. So this is Bryce's debut at 135. He got the victory by unanimous decision. Some people say it was lackluster because, well, the person he was grappling was elite too in grappling, but some people don't like to watch that. But he won by unanimous decision. How do you, based off that fight and who he fought, how do you see him faring off against other competitors at 135? Like those top competitors, like I'm talking like top 5 probably. Against O'Malley, Peter Yan, Sanhagen, Marab. Who else do we got? Who else is 135 in the top 5? I can't remember.
Mario Bautista.
Okay. So how do you guys see him faring against those fights, like those top 5 fights? Do you think that he can get past with the grappling alone, or how do you think it's going to work out for him?
I think it makes for some interesting fights. I don't know. I hope that they give him some good fights before he cracks that top 5. Like Saeed Nurmagomedov was a good win, but I hope they give him some fights where he can calibrate, get some things in a row, get his in a row so he can make a title run. But even
You there, Cody?
Yeah, Athens service.
No, he's good. No, yeah, 135. And Cody, we'll wait for you to get back. 135. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, because a lot of those dudes in that top division have very good striking. I'm not saying that Bryce doesn't have good striking. I think he has good striking, but I think there's different levels of striking, just as with grappling too. You know what I mean? Just like O'Malley. O'Malley has very good striking, but maybe he can't grapple with somebody like a Marab.
I think
let's talk about what you saying.
I think he could probably defend a Bryce takedown though. This off of
Who?
setups and all that, Sean.
Who can?
I think a good fight to make with Bryce. I'm guessing Kyler Phillips should probably still be ranked in the top 15. I think you can do that. You might be able to give him like an Adrian Yanez or a Rob Font, but I don't know.
That's a good name.
Hey, Yanez.
Because I'm not gonna lie. Like, I got to kind of be careful with what I say, just because of most of my audience comes from. But Bryce, I mean,
nah, you good.
I don't know, man. I think he gets. Dude, I even think if they really wanted to, they could say, "Fuck it, let's give him Malcolm Wellmaker."
Ooh,
And I don't think that goes well for Bryce at all. The way I don't know his strike.
He looked so good when he fought Edson. I mean, he dropped Edson with the left hand.
Bryce.
Yeah,
that Josh Emmett fight had to do. I mean, that might have. I don't know, but I just feel like ever since that performance, I haven't seen like a really, really good Bryce Mitchell. Like even his fight against Dan Ige, bro. Like fights like those were good fights, but I haven't really seen that Bryce in a minute, bro. I'm not gonna. I mean, Cron Gracie, yeah, but come on, bro, Cron Gracie.
Who do you want to see him fight, Jacob? Who do you think will be? Let's give Bryce one more fight. Let's not throw him around right away. You know what I mean? Let's give him one more fight to kind of get there. Who would you give him to kind of like give him kind of an even fight? And then after that, who would you give him to kind of challenge him at that division? Because I think Bryce has a fast way to the title. If he keeps winning, I think Bryce might find himself in a title fight in 2 to 3 fights. It's not gonna take that long, I don't think.
Yeah, he probably needs like 3 or 4 wins. Hey,
maybe less, depending on who he beats. It could be less, dude. Like
maybe
if he beats somebody
maybe if they match him up with somebody like Talbot, just to see.
That's a perfect. hey, that's a perfect fight though. That's a perfect next fight.
I think Bryce deserves someone a little higher in the rankings though.
I mean, Talbot, he probably deserves that higher, but just to
but he's gonna make more money off
of
a
fun fight.
Yeah,
that's a fun fight.
That's a pay-per-view fight. That's a main card.
Like I said, I don't think Bryce is athletic enough to get some of these takedowns on some of these tall, lanky, athletic bantamweights. Even the way that Talbot was defending takedowns against Andre Lima, I think Bryce would have a difficult time. There's going to be positions where Bryce could benefit in, but there's a lot of I don't know, bro. Bryce's striking is real questionable, especially at a weight class like 135. But Cody, I don't think Cody's going to be able to join. So he sent me a message. I don't know if y'all can. He said, just let them know Team 1 is coming. All caps. That means we really mean that shit. MMA, kickboxing, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, fucking cooking, anything, weightlifting, powerlifting, fucking basketball, football, any sport, Team 1 is coming.
All right. Hey, Cody, we're happy to have you on, even if it was for a little bit, man. Much love.
Facts, bro.
Bo, I think Talbot's a perfect fight. I think Bryce could get him with the grappling. I'm not sure if he's gonna. I don't think he can strike with Talbot. I could be wrong though. There's no telling. And Bryce is from 145, so he can probably have a little bit more power at 135 than we're getting.
I don't know what he's walking around at though. That's what I think he's probably like. I think he should have been at 135, and that's even what he was saying.
He didn't look bad neither. Like I seen him. Yeah, some people make those weight cuts. They look drained. They look drained, or their face looks sucked in.
He never looked healthy.
Yeah,
he doesn't look drained at 35.
You said what?
I don't know if he looked that drained at 35. You can tell he cut weight, but
he didn't look too drained.
He didn't look.
He didn't have like the death face. He didn't have the.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't look that bad.
Yeah. Like even on Valley sometimes, I see that's probably why they'd be wearing the sunglasses.
That's actually a good idea. I never thought about doing that. That's pretty smart.
I'm not doing that as an enemy. Well, I haven't really an eye drain. Well, I have had an eye draining weight cut, but I didn't get to make it on the stage.
All right, so let's say we give him for his first fight or his second fight at 135, Peyton Talbot. That's going to be a fun fight because I think they're both fun fighters.
He'll get back on a main card too.
Yeah, I'm sorry I keep coughing. My throat's bugging me. But that's gonna be a fun fight, a money fight. What do you guys think about him fighting O'Malley? How do you see that fight going out? Because that's gonna be a fun fight too. I think they both have different. They're both different characters. Same thing with Talbot. They're both different characters. And
now when I'm thinking about it, Talbot and Bryce would actually be a funny ass fight.
Yeah, yeah, would.
This
They
is
both.
I actually
Hey, bro.
started thinking
That would be a good build up. That would be a good build up. Because I don't know if they'll get along. They might get along. I don't know. But I feel like Talbot's pretty good at. You said what?
I think Talbot would mock him.
I don't know, because I don't know. But you know, I didn't see the fight tonight either, so I don't know. I got to go back and rewatch it. I'll do that after the show. But I don't know what he looked like at 135 yet. So
his striking. I mean, we didn't get to see it though. We never know. But yeah, I don't know.
Syed has decent striking, doesn't he?
Who?
Syed, the guy he fought.
Yeah, he has really good striking. And when it was on the feet, he was hurting Bryce. It was only on the first feet though.
would you say my fucking computer keeps going out, dude? I'm trying to look up shit right now. Would you say that I'm trying to think of somebody that would make sense at that weight, 135.
Kyler Phillips. I'm telling you, I bet Bryce Mitchell and Kyler Phillips needs to be it. You can still get Bryce on one.
Just lost to Peter Yan.
Marcus McGee, yeah, that was like that. But bro, Marcus McGee looked so good in that fight, even though he lost.
He's gonna level up.
I feel like honestly he won the first 2 rounds. Hence, I don't know though. I can see why Peter. All I'm saying is Peter Yan definitely learned his lesson from the O'Malley fight, because that 3rd round he fucking back sniffs him for 5 minutes straight. But no, I think Marcus McGee probably gets like a pit bull. Actually, I bet he fights. No, pit bull's 45. I'm trying to think.
Dan Ige. Oh no, that's 45.
That's 45. I'm trying to think, because he's not going to fight Mario Batista because they train at the lab.
He got matched up with somebody today. Who'd he get matched up with?
He just got. I think he got a 5-round main event with Umar.
Yeah.
That's a good ass fight. I think Umar might win that though, but I don't know. Mario Batista is really good. No, fuck. Who did Mario Batista beat though?
You said what?
Who did Mario Batista beat on that O'Malley card? Who came over from Bellator? Patchy Mix. Marcus McGee and Patchy Mix could be next, but it just depends about what they really think.
Patchy Mix. Oh, I forgot about that fight.
You can honestly even do Patchy Mix versus
Bro, Patchy Mix looked so bad in that last fight.
Yeah, so there's no way he'll be like a top 10 ranked bantamweight. He did look like shit.
But I do you think that may have been just like in the UFC lights though? Because I've never seen him fight like that.
No. He really fights like that, bro.
Oh, well, that was stupid.
That motherfucker is so flat-footed. Tim Welch predicted all of that shit, bro. I would have put money on Mario Batista. When I watched their breakdown, and like I said, Welch and O'Malley, all those guys have trained with Mario before. Bro, Patchy Mix is so flat-footed, and it's hard to move like that, bro. Especially if someone's throwing volume. He's literally standing like on his heels, like he's not moving at all. He has bad head.
You know what frustrated me with that fight is he was getting lit up, bro. And like for me, if I'm getting lit up, the least I'm doing is I'm moving my head at something.
Yeah, he didn't move his head at all.
Bro, he just stood in the same spot. Like, bro,
he turned into a Pez dispenser by Mario Batista,
like,
bro.
I'm not saying like you can dodge every hit, but at least you can take some power off those hits by moving with the punch or something. But he was just standing still, and that fight was crazy. I'm glad you brought that up. I forgot about that fight. Who else fought tonight? I don't know who fought, but I know the main event was Whitaker versus, how do you say his name? D. Riddler?
Yeah, like Renair de Ritter.
De Ritter?
Yeah.
So
that was a good fight. I knew that RDR won, though. I felt like he did enough. He did more than enough, I felt like.
Bro, Rob was so close to finishing him, though. Like
that overhand was insane.
That was so fucking close.
What round did that happen in?
3rd.
The 4th?
The 4th?
No, I think he dropped him I think it was the 3rd. I think he dropped him the 3rd.
Maybe it was the 3rd.
But it was crazy because he actually hurt Rob. He was hurting Rob with the knee. You could tell Rob's hurt. He went to do the same knee and just got fucking caught, bro. But he fights so... I don't even know, bro. It's when people say they watch DDP and it's just like,
Yeah.
You can tell he's awkward, bro, but it's something about watching RDR. He's way more awkward than DDP.
He's just so big too. Like,
yeah,
he was getting fucking tagged up with the jab and that uppercut, and then eventually he would come back at Rob with the jab, and Rob was slipping them hoes and countering back. But then eventually, after getting eat up in the clinch a lot, Rob just kind of he got tired a lot. All that wearing,
getting wore down. RDR is, bro. I heard in one TMZ video on his UFC debut, or no, the fight after that when he fought Kevin Holland, because I think that was on the main card. He was like 205, like 3 days before the fucking weigh-in. Like he was in fight like like Miami, I think was where he was at, and he was already like he was 205. He's huge at 85.
Yeah, that's crazy.
3 days before?
Yeah, might even be more.
Man, I don't get how people do that.
Yeah, he looks way bigger than 220 at least.
See, like I could cut a lot of weight for my fights, but that's a lot of weight in 3 days, man. That means a lot of that weight is water, and you're just torturing yourself. You're torturing yourself to make the weight.
Yeah,
that's a lot of weight in 3 days. Fuck that. No, I can't do that shit.
Yeah, that's a weight cut right there.
Fuck. You think are IVs legal in the UFC?
No,
like they're not. Okay.
No, dude. There's some promotions that allow it. I'm not gonna say no names, but
I don't think it should be. Oh, I know. Yeah, I know. But I think it's controversial. Let's talk about it. Actually, let's talk about IVs.
Actually, I changed my mind. I forgot. The place I work for now, we give out IVs. So if you want to get an IV before your fight, just come to iCrowd and use my QR code, especially if you're fighting me. If I'm going to allow you to use an IV, you can at least use my damn QR code and let me get some money off of
it. Let's talk about IVs.
That's some promoting right there.
Yeah. Let's talk about IVs. So the UFC doesn't allow them. I think the main reason is because I feel like, and this is my own personal opinion, I think everybody's different. If you're cutting so much weight where you need an IV afterwards, then you probably shouldn't be cutting the weight. On the flip side, you could be cutting weight the proper way, and you still, might want to take the IV. But my thing is like, damn, bro. Like, so that's like direct hydration, to your body. You know what I mean? So somebody that's maybe not taking an IV, they got to drink liquids, and that's going to take some hours to kick in, and so. What are your guys' opinions on IVs?
It's cheating. It's cheating. It's blank. Like, in my opinion, that shit is cheating, bro. Fucking go on Google, fucking watch some YouTube, see what food, see what liquid you need to get, have a good strength and conditioning coach who gives you a good plan for what to do before the weight cut and after the weight cut. If you're taking the easy way out by getting an IV, and then just say that you or your team or your coaches don't know what the fuck y'all are doing when it comes to the science of cutting weight. Now it's like, it's different, bro. Like if you're, I guess, about to die, but like you said, you shouldn't be cutting to a weight where you're legitimately going to have an IV to survive and then still plan on fighting.
Here's the flip side on it too. Let's say maybe you're not cutting. Let's say maybe, I don't know, you got a 20-pound weight cut and you decide to cut all the weight in a week. Let's say 25 pounds. 25 pounds in 1 week. When you cut that much weight that fast, your body becomes a little bit more weak. You're probably not as quick. You're not as crisp.
Your brain's dehydrated still.
Mm-hmm. And your brain is the last thing to rehydrate. I mean, yeah, I think that's true. I think Joe Rogan said some shit like that.
I can check on my Snapchat, but I think the week of the February fight, I was like 25, 26 over. Something crazy. Maybe like 24, 23. But it was bad. Yeah,
so then so let's say two people are fighting. You got one guy who's not doing IV. He cuts it the right way. He's cutting it slow, gradually, or he's cutting it however he needs to cut it. He's going to be at a point there at weigh-ins where he's depleted his body probably to its capability. And then he's going to go back, rehydrate the correct way, drink his fluids, eat food, stuff like that, and relax. He's going to recover, but it's going to be a lot slower recovery, I think, opposed to somebody who cut the weight in a week and they're completely depleted because they cut it so fast. Like they got the the cheeks going in and everything. But they ain't got to worry because guess what? They're getting shot up right after the weigh-ins, and they're gonna feel
So
like Superman again. You feel me? Because it's direct hydration.
it's so quick. When I was in the hospital, and at first I was telling them I can't have an IV until you give me a reason on why I can't fight, and then they told me that, hey, you're in rat
Oh,
hell.
that's okay. I remember you saying that on the show. Yeah, I remember you
So
saying that on the show.
I was 174. They gave me an IV. Keep in mind, I don't know how many fluids or whatever they were really giving me. Maybe it's different than if you just went in and bought an IV or whatever, because I was legitimately about to die. But I went from 174. They weighed me before I went in the back of the ambulance to go to Plano. I was 191.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
That's usually what, like, if you cut to 170, like someone like Carlos Prates, and they're in the UFC, they're not using an IV, and they have the world class like program on what to do after your cut weight. They're usually at like the 190s. So yeah, just off of like a couple of hours of IV, I was able to gain like damn near 20 pounds. Imagine if I was doing IV, eating hella food, because I still couldn't eat or drink for 2 days after that. So imagine if I was eating on top of that, getting sodium on top of that, drinking more water and electrolytes after I got that IV. Like, no, that shit's crazy. RDR would be a 170.
You brought up food too. So imagine somebody that doesn't cut weight till the last week. They're going an entire fight camp, basically eating as much calories as they want, as much fluids as they want, and they wait till the last week. They drop that 25 pounds, and then they rehydrate with the IV, and it's like I feel like it's almost an advantage compared to the person who had to probably be more strict with this diet over 2 months, and low calorie intake with training and stuff like that. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I think everybody has a different opinion. You guys
Now,
are
I don't know
fighters
if your
yourself.
brain still gets hydrated from the IVs, but you're right, bro. You're definitely right, in my opinion.
Jacob, what's your opinion on it, man? And there's no right or wrong answer here on Draconian Combat. You say what you want.
No, I mean, you're spot on with all that. But yeah, as far as like the brain, yeah, you have to have a hydrated brain. I mean, you're gonna feel a lot weaker. When I cut weight, I've heard you say before you don't like dieting, and obviously I don't. I'm pushing like
Yeah.
205 right now currently. So
Yeah.
but when I was like at my healthiest, I was like 185, 190, and I got down to 165 or 166 for my first fight. And then when I fought Trey, I weighed 170 for that one. So, but like when I rehydrated and ate, I didn't eat a whole lot. Like, I don't know what it is, but I've never felt that light before. So when I do get all that weight off me, I'm like, shit, dude, I feel pretty good and light. Like, I feel good anyway. So I won't eat as much as I used to and try to keep it going like that. But I got up to maybe like 179 after, like the day after weigh-ins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like what Adrian was saying earlier, like he went from 174 to like 191 or something.
Yeah, those are some big boys that they got some muscle mass on them. I'm not built like that.
Got you. So yeah, okay, I see what you're saying too now. Hey, I'm
Yeah.
not me neither. I get fat too. I don't give a fuck. I like my food, but we finna move on. So John Jones versus Aspinall. That fight's off as of now. We got Tom Aspinall versus not Curtis Gain.
Cyril.
Sergal Gain. Some people are saying Gain might be the underdog in this fight. I know Adrian's opinion on it. We'll get to your opinion next, Adrian. What do you think about that fight, Jacob? Do you think Tom goes in there and just stomps him out, or do you think that it's going to be a lot more interesting fight than people think?
I think it'll be more interesting. I hope it will be, because I hope Gain's been working on his defense for wrestling and grappling. So that should be the case, but who knows? I think Gain has some good kickboxing, though. It should be better than Tom's overall boxing, or it should be a good way to nullify his boxing, possibly. But I think it'll be a very interesting fight.
I think Adrian told me like you know a lot about MMA, so let's talk about
I got you, Jacob.
let's talk about Tom Aspinall's credentials as a fighter in the UFC, a heavyweight, or just a fighter, a heavyweight in general, and Gaines' credentials as a fighter, his resume. Who do you think has the better resume?
Well, actually,
Out of Gain and Aspinall,
Yeah, who do
I'm
you think
gonna
had the
guess
bigger challenges?
Aspinall.
A better question: who has had the bigger challenges in the UFC?
Probably
Ooh.
Tom. Just because he had to come back from injury, I'll give him that. And he had to fight a guy who's already beat him. Cyril Gane's fought some tough guys too, though. Francis Ngannou, John Jones. Anyways, that shit was quick. And
yeah,
your only losses being John Jones and Francis is not bad. Well, I don't know. Francis did wrestle him. That's what makes that L a little bad, is that he got wrestled by Francis. But I don't know, bro. In my opinion, I don't think Tom Aspinall's like resume is that great either. That's why when a lot of people were trying to hate on Jones for ducking, it's like, if you didn't think he was the GOAT before the Aspinall fight, I don't know why you would think he was the GOAT after the Aspinall fight. Because him beating Aspinall really doesn't change his resume besides the fact that Aspinall was the interim heavyweight champion. But what I like to call that, in my opinion, is recency bias.
What are your opinions, Jacob?
I don't know. I feel like with that fight coming up, you never know what's going to happen too. Because John's the backup for that one, is he not?
Is he?
Yeah, they made him the backup now. So
he did say he's trying to fight at the White House.
Fighters that quick?
yeah,
Well, he heard about the White House. He wants to fight on that card, so I guess he has
yeah.
to step up or
So
do
who
something. I think
knows,
Dana White
you
made
know?
a comment, didn't he? That he doesn't want him on the White House because he's
He
so
doesn't
Yeah, he's
trust
a
unpredictable.
liability.
Yeah, I would be hot, dude. If he was supposed to headline UFC White House and some crazy shit came out.
Yeah, that'd be crazy to even have him there. It's like, what the fuck?
Okay, here's my thing. People are saying Conor McGregor. It would be just as crazy to have Conor McGregor on there too.
He's not even
He ain't gonna
American.
fight, bro. I don't
He's
see
not
him
even
coming back.
American.
You
I
said
don't
what?
see Conor coming
No,
back.
but that's what people are saying. They're saying put Conor against an American like Michael Chandler.
Possibly.
But I don't even think, in my opinion, I think it'd be a fun fight. But I don't think that Conor deserves to be on that White House card. There's so many other fighters in the UFC who are disciplined right now in the sport and are doing things correctly. And that's his personal life. But like, dude, I just seen you like a couple weeks ago on Bare Knuckle FC, and you was like, dude, he almost looked like he was on coke or something.
Well,
And
he
it's
was
like,
just
bro,
weightlifting. We can't even forget about that.
you said what?
He was just weightlifting in quotation marks.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
and that's the thing too. Okay, so that's another argument. Conor McGregor's just as much as a liability as John Jones. Imagine some new shit pops up and he's supposed to fight on that White House card.
Bro, they made an official fight poster for Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler. They made a whole fucking season of The Ultimate Fighter.
Bro, he said,
and he pulled out off a broken toe.
Conor said, "Deuces." You know what's evil? Is Conor knew he was gonna do that shit the entire time.
Oh no,
you know what the hell he was
the
doing.
motherfucker was huge. He wasn't even making 170.
And he probably made hella money promoting that fight.
Hella money. You know how much money they probably had to pay him to do The Ultimate Fighter? More than what he needs.
So we're gonna talk about UFC White House. What do you guys think should be the main event for that card, and who should be the co-main for that card?
It's just hard, bro. It's so far out.
It's next year. It's really not that far.
If they didn't suspend Sean Strickland, I would have said put him on there, but
you got to. Yeah, I feel like you got to. Right?
Isn't it just for 9 months though?
Damn.
The fight's not until July 4th, I think, of 2026. So
really? You can't fight it all for 9 months, or just in Nevada?
Suspension, I think. I gotta look into detail about it.
I don't know.
I know it was like 9 months suspension or something.
Allegedly. Too much. Like I get what he did, but like I don't know, bro.
What they should have done.
It might only be 6 months.
Maybe this fine.
Yeah, they should just like find him a shit ton.
Or make him do an anti-bullying class or an apology for something.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, he ain't doing that.
I mean, I don't know what that did.
Some community service.
I don't know what he expected doing that shit to Sean Strickland and Curtis Blades.
I know, but hey, bro, but you can't do that in the ring.
No, that
They
is
got-
way too much. You
They
getting
gotta
in the
catch
cage
him
and
outside.
punching the
You know what I
dude.
mean? Like catch him in the crowd or something. You know what I mean?
That's worse for him. Well, damn, I don't know,
It's in
bro.
the crowd though. I mean, shit. It's different. You're on.
Yeah.
The cameras aren't on you inside a sanctioned event, and you're doing some
Yeah.
crazy shit.
Yeah.
I
guess
he
that
should
might-
have, or he should have waited to after the event, caught him outside. But anything but inside the cage, that was crazy, man. And then he was stomping forward in his flip flops, like he just looked crazy.
He didn't care. He knew. That dude already knew. Bro. You know when someone's about to swing.
You said what?
You know when someone is about to swing. That dude knew that Sean was about to swing. He was
Yeah, that
scared
shit was
shitless
funny.
too. I would have been too, bro. Curtis Blades and Sean Strickland pulling up on me. Not Curtis
Oh, hell
Blades.
yeah.
I'm tripping. Chris Curtis. I don't know why I always call that dude Curtis.
I got to spar with him in California.
Chris Curtis?
Yeah, twice. Yeah, I got to spar with him twice.
How's
So
that?
like, he's really good at sparring because he spars with a lot of people. So
Yeah.
like he was able to spar with me without fucking me up because he would. So I was able to go a little bit harder on some headshots. But I remember I hit him like one good time, and it was reaction because he made me nervous, and he kind of just smiled. Like, bro, and body shots, dude. He wasn't throwing no real headshots at me. He was just more like tapping and a bah, but he would rip the body, and that's what was catching me with the body shot. And this would have been
boxing.
Yeah, this would have been this would have been 2019, 2018, 2019.
I met him a couple years back and at PFC.
He was at Peak.
Yeah, Peak Fighting. Yeah.
Oh shit, okay. Yeah, damn. That must have been when Peak just started then, huh? Because I know it's like at 45 or some shit now.
Yeah, it was when Caleb fought. I don't remember the guy's name, but he fought some dude, and I think it was Bailey King fought that night too. It was a good card that night for sure.
Yeah, Chris Curtis. Yeah, and then I look at his fights, and like he does the same thing in his fights too. He rips the body. That's why I like his boxing. And if you notice with his fights a lot too, he has a habit of turning a lot of his fights into boxing matches. Sean Strickland does the same shit too.
I kind of like watching boxing and MMA though.
You said you kind of like watching boxing and MMA?
Yeah. I like when
I do
MMA
too.
fighters start using the boxing more. Because honestly, my first combat sport I was watching was boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I grew up on Mayweather and Canelo and stuff like that. And then I slowly transitioned to MMA in like 2012 with my dad and all that, 2013, 2014.
Yeah, I like to rip them body shots too.
Hey, people neglect them, dude. People neglect them, dude.
Oh yeah, you forget. I mean, you're so caught up in a fight. You're like, I want to knock this motherfucker out or something. You just forget about the body.
I think
that's something I'd like to touch on too, real quick. Is
that
was like I wanted that to be part of my my game plan against Trey. I wanted to like go to the body a lot more than what I did. And shit, at one point he hit me in the body. He got me with a good liver shot to the body, and hurt me for a sec.
And that's what people don't understand. Let's say if it doesn't so much hurt you, eventually they start adding up. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And they start to tire you out. You start to take those punches a lot. They're not as easy to take after a while. They start to build up. And I've been dropped. Only time I've been dropped is by body shots, to be honest. Because when you get hit with a good body shot, you try to play it off. But each time I can't play it off, I gotta go down. And this only happened to me in sparring. You feel me?
Bro.
So this only happened to me during sparring. But
me and my brother,
I'm thinking like, man, if this is a real fight, somebody's gonna run up on me. You know what I mean? But yeah. What are you gonna say, Jacob?
No, me and my brother, we used to fuck around and spar like that, like bare knuckle and shit. And well, my brother, he's got 5 years on me. He's older than me, so he get a little carried away with shit. And so he bro, I remember him catching me with a body shot, and it hurt me to the liver, and I like did like this, hold my stomach, and then he fucking threw an uppercut and dropped me with the uppercut too, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
Hey, let's talk about you as a fighter, Jacob, just real quick. Since you're talking about your brother, I didn't know you had an older brother. I didn't know you guys used to spar with each other.
Yeah, I got 2 older brothers.
Okay. Does he spar with you guys too, or is it just the one brother?
Oh no, he's never wanted to come to the gym really. I invite him all the time.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I just want to know how you guys started fighting. What caught your interest, man?
Well, for me, you know, growing up, like I said, with two older brothers, they always beat up on me and you know bully me a little bit. So it kind of toughened me up a little bit over the years. So as the years went on, I got more interested in fighting and stuff like that. So I started watching UFC a lot, and I had in my head I wanted to fight when I was like 16 or 17 because we'd do it a lot. We'd do like little backyard MMA stuff and whatnot, and do chest and ribs, shit like that at school or whatever. And so I liked it a little bit. But when I hit 20, I finally went to go train at a gym in Tyler that was called Lone Star MMA. And that's actually where a lot of our guys originated from. Actually, most of the gyms in the East Texas area, a couple of them anyway, a bunch of the guys started there, and then they got their own gyms from there and separated because the owner, he was kind of a douchebag. But yeah, that's where I started at. I started at Lone Star for at least 2.5 years off and on. And I started with jiu-jitsu, did some Muay Thai and wrestling, judo. And yeah.
Did you wrestle in high school? I didn't mean to cut you off. Did you wrestle in high school at all, or you just kind of stuck in?
I did not know. My dad wrestled in high school. He actually went to a school in Phoenix, and he did football, track, and he was a wrestler. He was a jock pretty much. And growing up, he taught me some wrestling moves. So yeah.
Yeah,
I like to think my dad taught me most of my wrestling.
That's dope, though. That's dope. Yeah. Because my dad taught me a lot of my striking, at least growing up. And that's kind of how I got started too. Like I was, mostly roughhousing with my cousins and stuff like that, you know, or with the homie Harrison and the homies, you know, we were hanging out with. We go out in the backyard one day and just put on boxing gloves, and everybody just, you know, 1v1. We take turns going against each other, and then just getting bullied in school. Got into mixed martial arts. So a combination of all of those. So I kind of, you know, we kind of have the same background a little bit as far as competing. I kind of missed it. Did you say when you started, like what age? How early did you start?
I got into jiu-jitsu when I was 20.
Okay. And you, as far as like, you mean you basically are saying you're just fucking up your brothers at an early age. You get in fights with them, so I guess you were doing it your entire life.
Yeah, they were fucking me up.
Yeah, it's the big brothers. It's big brothers.
Yeah, they're big brothers. Yeah, I'm the youngest.
My bad. I'm a little turn on the drink right now. My bad. The big brothers. The big brothers.
But no, I fucked them up now. So
we were talking about Strickland, man. So he's suspended for 9 months, and I think DDP versus Hamzat's happening next. Who would you guys give the winner? Because I thought a great fight for Strickland would have been Izzy, get that rematch. But now this kind of leaves Izzy sitting out for a minute. Who does Izzy fight? Does he fight the winner of DDP versus Hamzat? Or, which I wouldn't want to see that, to be honest. Or do we give Izzy someone else? And who do we give it? Give Izzy at the 180. My bad, I'm lit right now.
Actually, I mean, this last week event with Costa winning the way he did, I'd love to see him fight Izzy again.
Yeah,
Costa?
That's actually a good fight.
Yeah. I'd hate it for Izzy.
I don't know, bro. You got to think, though, that the experience that Costa has compared to that guy, and Roman Kopylov has had like a lot of inconsistent performances. I think it was a good matchup. It could have went bad, though. It could have been one of those like, hey, it's this dude's time. It's no longer your time. So we're going to kind of give you this fight and you kind of get pieced up. It could have been one of those, and it happened to not be. But I feel like if Izzy can still be Izzy just a little bit with the leg kicks and the distance management, I think he could still beat Paulo Costa. I think it'd be a good-ass fight now, though.
Yeah, it'd still be a good fight. But yeah, definitely Costa, he showed up the way he looked.
Yeah, he deserves a good fight. And he fought really down in the rankings, too, as a big name.
Well, that'd be a rematch, too, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be the move actually.
That's
Yeah,
might
I'd
be
say
the move,
that'd be the move.
You said what?
I'd say that would be the move. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that would be the move. Strickland, you gotta chill, dog. Like you gotta chill, bro. You could have done that same shit outside the ring, and still be like no consequences.
You don't
But
think
you
they would
did
have suspended him if he did it outside of the cage?
I think they wouldn't be as hard on him.
Yeah, because
But
it's
they got to
not
make an
yet.
example out of him. He did it in front of a television, bro.
Yeah.
People live, watching online or pay per view, whatever. He did it inside of a sanctioned event. When you're a corner man, there's certain responsibilities you have, and one of those is not attacking the people in the opposite corner. And
especially after they finished your fight or two, that also looks really
yeah,
bad.
so I think they got to.
Makes their
They're trying to
gym
make an
look bad
example
too
out
as
of him.
well.
I think he could have done the same exact thing and got away with it outside of the ring, though. So Strickland, gotta chill, bro. I know, bro. I know I would have been pissed too. I'm not gonna lie, but I know he probably made you mad, but you gotta chill, man.
I wonder if he did that low key, knowing like, shit, this will promote my character, or like, is that really Sean Strickland?
Nah. You see all the way he was stomping in those flip flops? I think that was really Sean.
Yeah, he did look good.
I think that was really Sean Strickland, man. I think he would have done that to anybody. That's just his character. That's his character, bro. That's how it is. He stands on business, but you can't stand on business in front of pay-per-view. It looks bad, bro.
Especially when you're in the UFC.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Because you're still technically like, I mean, it's fighting, so it's not like you're like a role model. But I mean, the dude who you just punched on wants to be in the position you want to be in one day, and you can't show professionalism like attacking people in the cage. So,
at the end of the day, too, they're all fighters, so they ain't gotta respect each other. But at the same time, I just thought he should have just waited, man. Just wait afterwards and then put hands on him outside.
I agree.
Because I understand, you know what I mean? I understand. And everybody's fighters, so they got those emotions. They're gonna actually stand on business, unlike a lot of people. But bro, like you gotta chill, man. You gotta chill. Like that could have been bad if you pressed charges,
bro. That's like I think that's just an ego thing, bro. That's just ego.
And what's crazy is the guy that he did it to decided not to press charges. He's like, why would I press charges? We're fighters. I understand.
He was a cop too.
Oh, yeah, he's a cop?
Yeah, the guy was a cop.
Is it bad? No, I
Damn.
ain't gonna say that. I was gonna say, I don't know. Just depends about how big of a bag I needed. That's like now. Look, bro, that dude's gonna end up taking a tough fight one day because he needs the money. But if he would have shooed Sean Strickland, he would have got some bread, and now he can take good fights, not because he needs the money, but because he wants to fight. So you never know.
Yeah, but it kind of stays with your character for the rest of your career too. Like they're gonna be like, oh, that's the guy that sued after.
But because nobody still knows his name. No, we're saying the
I
guy.
feel like, bro, I think he was on Ariel Helwani because of that shit, if I'm not mistaken. So it definitely Sean gave him exposure, unnecessary exposure.
Yeah, but he needs to use it more, in my opinion, because I still don't know his name.
I don't either. Yeah, I don't either. No, I don't even remember the dude. I don't want to keep you guys for too long, so we're gonna close it out soon. What did I want to talk about? Oh yeah, I did want to talk about Canelo versus Crawford. Who you guys think is going to win that fight? Also, your opinions on, and we could answer the first one first. Also, your opinion on Dana White kind of promoting this one. I mean, we see him at the face-offs with them talking and stuff like that.
He's Canelo ads in every.
Mm-hmm. What are you guys' thoughts on this? I just seen that Usyk made 138 million or something like that for his last fight. Obviously, Crawford and Canelo are gonna make millions on this fight.
And it's on Netflix.
You got the Arab people putting money in because they just fuck with the fighters and they want to see these fights happen. So first off, what are your thoughts on Canelo versus Crawford as far as who you think is gonna win, and then afterwards, Dana White being involved with it, still being involved with the UFC as well. And what's up, Jacob? Jacob said the boys.
What's up?
But yeah, Adrian, you can go first.
I mean, I really want Crawford to win. I just think Canelo might just be a little big, just a little bit too big. I think Terrence. I think it'll be a good fight, bro. I really want Crawford to win. I just think Canelo is going to be a little bit too big, bro. And it's just funny to me because this is the fight he gets. And his main excuse on why he won't fight Bivol is because like weight class, and Bivol doesn't want to come down. He wants me to move up and this and that. But that's really what Canelo's doing to Crawford. But I don't know.
How do you see that fight going? And if Canelo wins, do you see him winning a decision or finishing him? A lot of people are saying he's going to finish him.
Because of the weight?
I think just because of the power thing. I think of just Canelo.
I mean, maybe. I guess because of the weight.
I'm not saying that. I'm reading what people are saying.
Did he knock out Edgar Berlanga?
You said what?
Did he knock out that Edgar dude?
I don't remember.
Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah, I can't use my computer right now. It's just dead.
Yeah, I'm not big on boxing right now. I think Crawford has really good footwork, though. I like that he's a switch hitter. And he's a dominant southpaw.
Yeah, I'm not really big on keeping up with boxing right now neither, but I do watch both of them. I think Crawford can beat him, but I don't think Crawford's going to stop Canelo. I think it's going to be a very technical fight, and it's going to go 12 rounds.
I just don't think Terrence is going to be big enough to drop Canelo.
That's what I'm saying. If he beats Canelo, it's going to be based off of pure boxing and points, and it's going to be a strategic 12-round fight. But Canelo, he starts to put up the intensity as the rounds go, and Canelo has the power to drop Crawford too. So I think it's going to be an interesting fight.
I don't know. I mean,
you said what?
It's so 50-50. The only thing that makes me even say Canelo is realistically just the weight. Besides that, there's nothing that really makes me want to say Canelo. I mean, the defense is really good, but man, I don't know. I just don't really think he's a better boxer than Crawford. I just think he's going to be the bigger boxer.
Right. And I think that Crawford, I kind of want to see Crawford win. I want to see him win. I think he deserves a bag. I think if he beats Canelo, he's already making good money. He's going to make crazy money after this fight. But if he beats Canelo, he's going to start making crazy, crazy money. And I feel like he deserves it. I think he deserves it. I think Canelo is a great fighter as well. Canelo's been around for a lot. Dude, he's been around since I was in I remember watching him like in 8th grade or some shit. I've been watching Canelo for a minute. So he's been around for a while, but I think it's time for a new shift in boxing. I think I would love to see Crawford take that torch. And I want to move on to Dana White. A lot of people are salty because Dana White is promoting boxing right now, and some feel like he doesn't pay, the UFC fighters what they deserve. And then he's teaming up with the people from, what are the people called? It's an actual thing. I remember the company that they run, but they funded the UFC.
The Sphere. They funded the Sphere and all of that.
Yeah, they funded the Sphere. So they obviously are working very close with Dana White. They're putting in a lot of money. So you have an individual with lots of money, Dana White with lots of money. They're coming together to make a super fight, one of the biggest fights in a while. I'm talking probably a decade, with Canelo and Crawford. And they're going to make a lot of money. He's also starting his own boxing business.
Am I mistaken? Are they called the Yaugen?
You said what?
The Yaugen?
That's what they're called?
That's what I'm trying to see.
Maybe I'm thinking of some other shit. I might be tripping.
Yeah, there's a name for it. I just can't remember. But all I know is that the first time that I realized, I paid attention to them is when they funded the UFC Sphere for, I think it was UFC 300, Marab versus O'Malley. But they put lots of money on that one.
Well, I know this one, since it's UFC and WWE and all of that, it's the TKO. So it's TKO and then the Turkey dude.
Oh, okay, I got you. So TKO, is that boxing and wrestling?
No, that's UFC and WWE's parent group. And they just jumped into boxing with Saudi Arabia and a deal with Turkey, however you say his name.
Got you. Okay. All right.
So really the promoters are Dana White and then Nick Khan, which is pretty much the WWE president and the TKO board member.
Gotcha. What's your opinions on that? Because I feel like some people are a little bit upset that Dana's
Ridia is what it's called. Ridia season or some shit like that.
Say it again. Greedia?
I don't even know how to Ridia or
Oh,
something like
okay. I
that.
think
Too.
I remember now. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I remember that logo, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I remember now. I don't remember how to say it, but I remember the words. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Do you think it's what's your thoughts on boxer pay versus MMA pay in general, dude?
I mean, it's bullshit.
Yeah,
Obviously,
you think
I
it's
feel
ever
like
gonna
MMA
change?
fighters should get more.
You think
Just
it's gonna
based on
change?
entertainment.
Dana White.
You said what, Adrian?
I think it only doesn't change because of Dana White, honestly. I mean, it's not just him that controls the fighter pay because there's other promoters, but
Right.
I don't know. I guess boxing is just pulling that much more money. And I know UFC pulls a lot of money too, but I bet a lot of it is this marketing of boxing and the promoters.
Right.
There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that we don't know about.
Right. And we could kind of say that boxing's been around a lot longer than MMA, I think. But MMA started like it had to be like the early 90s, bro. Like actually like on TV, sanctioned fights. Or I don't even know if they were sanctioned yet, but it really
Now, at
hasn't
one
been
point,
around.
they had like they would be in wrestling shows. So like the wrestling show would start, and then when the wrestling show would end, then they would have the MMA fights. Our main
Right.
coach, Coach G, his first couple of MMA fights, not even his first, a lot of his MMA fights were like that. They were after wrestling shows.
Okay.
Huh.
So we're talking about two different disciplines. One of them has been around for hundreds of years. The other one has been around not that long, dude, since like the early 90s, I think. At the same time, you're in a sport where you're taking a lot of damage, you're getting hurt, there's injuries, there's long-term injuries that, stick with you for a lifetime. And I'm not saying that he paid 100 million, but we have sports like basketball, and I understand, the money side too, because NBA brings in a lot of money. NFL brings in a lot of money, so they can probably pay their fighters a lot more. But at the same time, because what does a starting UFC fighter make? If I'm not mistaken, most of them have to work full-time jobs. Like
if you're not known, like, and you're just happen to be, well, obviously you're known, but if you're in the UFC and like no one is really wanting to watch you fight, you're fucked. You're making like 12K. And
right.
A lot of fighters, they don't have a good manager, so their contracts is set up. Okay, 12K to show, then 12K to win, and you don't really want your contract set up like that, in my opinion. From what I've been learning, because I've been trying to study all of this because where I want to go in life. And I mean, I want to be UFC champion one day, but I would love to be able to take care of my family. Like, even if I'm not even a ranked UFC fighter, if I'm in the UFC, people want to watch me fight, I'm on the main card regardless of who I fight, and then I'm doing something well. You know what I mean? So I feel like studying all of that, I think a lot of the pay issues kind of come from the fighter themselves. They're not willing to learn how contracts work. They're not willing to find the right people, and they're not willing to find the ways to actually secure the finances they need to secure with sponsorships and deals and stuff like that. Promoting
They need
as
to
well.
promote themselves too a lot more.
Yeah, but still, I just feel like you should have to do that a little bit because people need to care when you're fighting. But there's still unknown boxers who, get paid not an insane amount like a Gervonta Tank Davis, but there's boxers out there that not that many people know, and they're getting paid more than a UFC fighter.
All right.
No, you're right, and I think, bro, like 12,000. I think that's too low, though. I think the UFC can afford.
That's way too low, bro.
I'm thinking they say UFC is the big leagues of MMA.
And then, bro, you got to think some of that gets taxed out. Let's just say you show up, you don't even win the fucking fight. Let's just say it's a close decision. You get beat up. You're injured for months. You're probably not going to train for a little bit, and you don't get fight of the night, so you don't get your 50K. So you get your 12K, then you got to pay your coaches, and then your manager's probably already hoeing you because he probably got you a bad fight, and you got a bad contract, which means you probably owe him a lot of money. So you're really only damn ass making like 6K.
Yeah, and I think because it's the big leagues, and maybe you don't need to give them 100,000. I think at some point that would be dope once the UFC has built itself to that point where they can afford to give those bigger payouts. But damn, like 12,000 is not a lot of money, man.
I feel like the base signing should be 20, bro. I think you should get 20.
20 sounds fair. 20 to show, 20 to win.
Because I mean, they say you got to fight too, but like I said, like, what happened if I get hurt in that one fight and only made 6K? Like, it's going to be hard for me to even have the money for me to recover that fast to, get another fight in a couple of months or so. And then what happens if there's no good matchups? But if you're not getting paid enough, you got to take the bad matchup. You got to fight when you're hurt. You got to do this. You got to do that. So I feel like if they actually want to get, good fights in, fighters not be so inconsistent and all of that, and maybe not have fighters pull out as much, make the pay a little bit higher. And then they won't have to just take fights because they have to fight. They'll take fights because they want to. I think you'll get better fights like that. And you'll get more athletes, better fighters wanting to come in the sport. Because why would you want to come do this, get punched in your head and get beat up every day, and then have to diet and kill yourself every time you're cutting weight, like literally?
No, you're right, though. I think
like
60K
that maybe on a good day.
60K?
I mean, yeah, maybe. Like, let's just say you kind of have a decent name. Like, Danny Ige is probably making like 60K to 100K. Or if you're an insane athlete, your parents have been paying for these private trainings in football or basketball, of course you're rather going to go take your potential in a sport like that because fighting doesn't pay. So if they also paid more, I feel like you would get better fighters coming in too, because you're going to have a better, higher quality athlete coming in to fight.
I think if they're going to lowball them that much, because they're lowballing them, that's not a lot of money, man. But if you're gonna lowball them that much, then at least allow them to use sponsors. Back in the day, UFC used to allow their fighters to have sponsors on their shorts and stuff like that. And, once you sign to the UFC, you kind of let all that stuff go. You're talking about, some fighters not wanting to join the UFC because of money. They might be a great fighter. They might be a great asset to the company. But the paycheck, it doesn't line up to what makes sense to them. I think a perfect example is AJ McKee. Why would AJ leave where he's fighting at? Because he's built himself to a point where, he's making good money. And he's making good money off of sponsorships. And if the UFC's not going to meet him on that level financially, then why should he ever come to the UFC?
I don't know, bro. I think he's making good money, but why would Patchy Mix? Yeah, but why would someone like Patchy Mix, who was big name, making good money, decide to come to the UFC?
I don't think he's not making AJ money. I'm not trying to pocket watch neither. I'm bringing up AJ because AJ, he needs to be in the UFC, bro. Like,
yeah. I haven't really just looked at, like, I haven't really seen his network or anything or see what he does, but I don't know, bro. Like, I feel like there's big names who are getting paid outside of the UFC, but I just, bro, what promotion is he in? PFL, right?
He was the champion of Bellator, and now he's in PFL because Bellator's no more. So he's fighting in Bellator. I think he just fought one of them.
I bet he's making money, but his potential of making more money would be in the UFC. He would make way more money in the UFC.
I would, but all I know is just it's a money thing, and whatever they're offering, if it
I think he might be saying that because he thinks they're going to come back with a higher contract. I don't think it's, bro. I think the UFC would pay more regardless.
They might, but I feel like they're gonna. In that case, it might be like another Michael Chandler situation. They're gonna catch him on the back end.
They might just do that shit on purpose since he did that.
And they might. But at that point, he probably would have made it. The bag's gonna be that good. So, but yeah, I don't know, man. I think the pay is ridiculous in the UFC. So, and like I said, I'm not saying pay him 100K or not even 50K, but starting off
35K, like my first UFC fight, 35, I feel like would be good. But what I feel like my main goal is with my first contract, pro, whatever promotion, I would love to try to make it where I don't have to have, like, I'm confident I'm going to win every fight, but I want all my money just to show. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm getting paid for my entertainment technically. So if I'm giving you an entertainment fight and people want to watch me fight, I feel like I should be able to just get that for the show and not the win.
So not going off topic, but
go ahead.
For instance, like with Jeremy Stevens, he's in the BKFC now.
Mm-hmm.
So he just had that last fight in the UFC for his like comeback fight or whatever. I don't know how much he made for that one, but comparing like from UFC to BKFC, that's something that I would be interesting. Oh.
Yeah, I bet bare knuckle does have to pay. Shit,
well, yeah,
you're
it does.
You got to pay me a bag to take a bare knuckle fight.
Man, you know what's crazy is Harrison tells because Harrison does matchmaking. Harrison does matchmaking now, and he was telling me like a lot of fighters that are just starting off will make more money in bare knuckle than they will starting off in regular MMA, like the B leagues and stuff like that.
I'm not surprised, but damn.
No, yeah, Harrison was telling me like how surprised he was, and I think, dude, look at Mike Perry. He's making so much money over there, dude, that I don't think he would have been making in the UFC.
I agree.
But you know, it's a different discipline. I don't think he'd probably be doing as I'm nothing against Mike Perry, but probably doing as good as far as in MMA right now in the UFC. But I think, you know, he's doing his thing and he's found his niche in bare knuckle, and that's dope. And he's making that money. And he's promoting himself now where
Now he got his own brand now because of it.
Yeah, and he's almost the face of bare knuckle now.
Yeah, he got a Jake Paul fight off of it.
Yeah, no, he did.
That's actually, I mean, dude, that's actually more money than most UFC fighters are ever going to touch. I bet he got more money for the Jake Paul fight than probably like 4 UFC fights, 5 UFC fights combined. I'm not even trying to be funny.
No, yeah. UFC pays crazy. Fighters are going to bare knuckle. I'm going to bring up one topic before we close it out. Salt Poppy versus Tony Ferguson. Did you hear about that?
I did. I saw the face off and all.
What are your thoughts about that? Do you think you think it's a fair fight for Tony, or do you think they're setting up Tony?
Yes.
You do?
I mean, boxing and UFC is different. I know he's on like an 8-fight win streak, and he's got a lot of brain damage in his career, and he wasn't really always known as a boxer. But with I don't give a fuck how old you are. With the knowledge you have, the experience you have, the people that Salt Poppy have fought compared to you, if you lose to Salt fucking Poppy, fucking retire.
Yeah, I agree. I'm hoping Tony Ferguson beats him.
I hope, bro.
You know,
I am pissed about that fight. There's just something about that fight that makes me mad. Like, I just feel like that is so disrespectful. Maybe it's just because I'm a KSI hater and it's boxing brand. But
Tony's the one that accepted it, though.
I know, bro, but man, like, I'm glad he did. I think man, there's a lot of bad boxing matchups they could have got him. So Salt Poppy, he should.
I believe Salt Poppy is probably one of the better boxing influencers.
He's not bad, but bro.
But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he's on a fighter level. But as far as like that whole world of influencer boxing, he's gotten really good.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
Who did he lose to? He got knocked out when he did lose, but it was a tall guy, maybe Slim.
He's fighting, and he's fighting hard people, dude. But I know I was a fan of Salt Poppy because before he started, he was kind of chubby.
Yeah, he lost a lot of weight and moved down.
He was doing that little salt thing online where he go like that with his hands, and now he's super thin in shape, and he's actually improved a lot in boxing. When I seen that they were going to fight, though, I didn't know how I wanted to.
3-2.
You said what?
He's 3-2.
Yeah, so
he lost. So he got knocked out by Slim, and then Anthony Taylor beat him by a decision. Apparently, he has a knockout power.
No, I mean he does. I don't know if he can knock out Tony Ferguson. Maybe he could. I don't know, but that's gonna be interesting, dude. That's gonna be an interesting fight. I don't like it because I'm afraid for Tony Ferguson. And I agree with you. I feel like if he loses to Salt Poppy, I think it's time to hang it up.
I agree, bro.
Not so much like putting them down, but I don't think he's gonna mess around and just keep fighting people that are just contributing to any further brain damage. He doesn't need to do it no more. He has nothing else to prove in the sport. He's beloved by the community. And yeah, unless he's just trying to chase a paycheck, but I'm not sure how I feel about that fight. I don't.
I'm not gonna lie. Salt Poppy did lose to Anthony Taylor, and I just saw that Anthony Taylor fucking beat Anderson Silva's son.
Anthony Taylor just fought, I think, Darren Till and lost to Darren Till.
Bad. He got knocked out really bad.
Yeah.
But Anthony Taylor beat fucking Anderson Silva's kid. I wonder what made him do boxing and not MMA.
I don't know. Well, you know, Silva used to box before he did MMA, but he didn't have the greatest boxing career.
Well, honestly, bro, when he went back to boxing after MMA, he really wasn't bad at all.
Nuh-uh. But when he first started his career, he was boxing first, and then he made the transition to MMA. So maybe we see the same thing with Anderson Silva's son.
I've never thought Jake Paul fights were scripted. The only fight that ever made me question it was the Anderson Silva fight. Just because there were so many counter punches that were there that Anderson Silva was throwing in his boxing fights that he just didn't throw. But I guess, Jake Paul's 20-something and was way bigger and is way younger and is way healthier, so that is what he's supposed to do.
I don't think it was scripted. I
don't
think
either.
that I think Jake Paul is just a bigger fighter, and he packs a lot of power. I think Anderson Silva's chin isn't the same since he's been knocked out. You know, after he got knocked out, we would see him almost get staggered in a lot of his fights.
Yeah.
So I don't think that was the same Anderson Silva. But man, oh, my dog's about to throw up. You good? Hold on, let me see if you're okay. You good? Come on. You good? You good? Come on. You choking on something or you good? You good? My bad, bro. Hey, yo. That's Draconian Combat. We finna cut it.
I got you.
All right, I think my dog.
Hey, it was a good show. Hour and a half.
No, it was good. My bad. I was a little too turned. I was
you're good, bro.
drinking my drink. But yeah, that's Draconian Combat episode 77. We have the Ethos team here, and we're gonna close out. We plan on being back next week with Sambia Cisse. He's gonna tell us about his fight on UFC Fight Pass coming up August 22nd, I think.
Wait, what day? Because I might be in Louisiana.
August 22nd.
No. I'm talking about the interview.
Oh, it's gonna be this following week. If you
Saturday?
can't make it, that's cool. You said what?
Is it gonna be? I want to try to make it though.
What works best for you? We could post it up the following week then.
Anything? No. Well, I mean, if we just do anything before Saturday.
Okay, we can do that too. I think he's cool at running a late episode if that's fine with you, and I don't mind doing a late episode.
Bro.
All right,
I don't mind a late episode. I think sometimes real late episodes are kind of a vibe.
All right, for sure. We'll line it up like that then. This is Draconian Combat episode 77. We're out, y'all.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good one.
You too, Adrian.